Oh, wow. The market absolutely getting murdered this afternoon. The QQQ, the Nasdaq, selling off massively. And, well, we got a end-of-day trade, locking in some profit here end of day. I'm going to show you the trade, talk about kind of what's been going on today, the little recap on the strategy, the MACD, everything. What's going on, Patrick? Let's talk about it. Let's do it right here in this video, a little live trade end of day. Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, so we're watching here end of day to see if we get a push above this level right here, above the 40s again. Looking for like a little reversal end of day here in the markets after that huge, massive sell-off. To see if we get a push up to the 50s. And I'm going to move my stop up here to right below that 9 EMA. Once this candle breaks above the high of this candle, I'll move my stop to break even. So looking to see if we can push above that high on this candle being that 47 level. So I'm going to move my stop to break even now. And we'll look for continuation to the 50s. There we go to the 50s. I'm going to move my stop now. We're going to make sure we're locking in at least $100 and see if we can't get up through the 50 level here. Actually, I'm going to put this a break even. That's what we're going to do. We'll put the break even, see if we can't get an end of day rally here. So worst come to worst, we're going to get out for at least, $10, cover the commissions on the trade, and to see if we can't get a push up here end of day. Moving my stop to 42 just to lock in at least $20, cover a little bit more commissions. But seeing if we can push above the 50s here. Trying to ride this momentum, see if we can't ride off the 8 EMA, that blue line on the chart right now. If we can hold that 8 EMA. Hey, if you enjoy these videos, do me one big favor. Leave a comment down below. Let me know, what should we talk about? What do you want to see? What's the question that you've always wanted answered here on YouTube? And also, hit that subscribe button, the like button if you haven't already. And tune in tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. We'll be live right here on YouTube. Let's get back into it. Try to get a squeeze up here. Can she push? Looking like we might get stopped here. She's trying. Having trouble. There we go. Nice little push back. Okay. All right. Looking good. Pushing up here. I'm just going to let this one ride for that push up. I think the 60s we can push end of day here up to the 60s. Little push back. And then once we push through this level, looking to move my stop up, obviously. I'm going to move my stop up to at least $100 in profit here. We're pushing up to the 60s now. I like to see a push over the 60 level next. Looking for a push over the 60s here. End of day, just looking for a bounce back after that big, massive sell-off here. Get up to the 60s, look to take profit. Up $300 here on this trade. And looking for a push to the 60s, 60s. Up to 60. I'm going to take it just right there, lock it in. That's not bad. That's $300 that I'm going to take there on that trade. Just to, it'll put us better on the day. We're up $725 on the day after commission, $600. Make sure I cancel all. That's one thing I want to make sure everybody, always when you're done trading, when you're done, you walk away, or if you're done with the trade, cancel all. Make sure you go here, you press cancel all. That's for every platform. Doesn't matter what platform you're using. Always cancel all. Make sure there's no stop orders that are left out there. And we got about 30 minutes here on the market to close. Watching here, you can see on the chart kind of why I thought that would be a good time to be getting long after we had this huge sell-off from the 740 area down there to the 580s. And you can see getting back above the EMAs and the MACD. This was probably like the biggest indicator for me. That MACD cross, the MACD momentum starting to curl up and going into the end of the day looking for that push. And there it is up to the 60s, 61s now trying to push through there. Pretty good. I just still don't love it in terms of really getting crazy on this trade. So doing a little recap on the day, we had this morning's move, which is funny because look at this morning's move. I want to point this out, how clear this is. This morning's move was just trending lower. But the thing is, if you look at this momentum down here on the MACD, right? Look at that momentum down there. It's just kind of all over the place. It's not clean. It's not showing us that it's, nice little waves. This is the type of momentum that we want. We want to see this type of momentum on the MACD when we're trading. If we're getting long, we want to see, that momentum pushing. And you can see this move here. We got the cross, the MACD crossed, and then we were riding this higher. So, I had to battle this morning. I took 2 losses right away, pretty much in that first 30, 40 minutes of the market open. And then I ended up battling it back. But I mean, really, the lesson here is, if the MACD is looking all choppy like this, we're not getting a clear MACD move, well, there's no point in me getting long. And even getting short, it's kind of like, I don't even want to get short there. Like, you know, either way. So this beautiful move, we get the MACD to cross again. This is exactly like we talked about multiple videos now. We got the MACD to cross, the momentum in the indicator on the MACD histogram's pushing up, and now the market pushes up there. So we had a move from the 560s up there to 680 during the live stream. I talked about a very doable move up there to the 600s, which we got. And then what I want to point out here is look out how the MACD changes, right? Like the MACD is now looking more uniform, cleaner, these moves. You get this pullback here. The MACD then shows that the momentum to the downside is slowing down and it starts to push back up. And here is another beautiful, I wouldn't say it's a beautiful move, but look at what happened here, right? If you look at the MACD, MACD is slowing momentum. We're not getting that clear momentum. Even though we went from the 650 level all the way up there to 740, like we're just not getting that clear move there in the MACD. Not like we got earlier when we had that really nice move to the upside. But if you look at this move to the downside, look at the MACD on that downside move. Oh, beautiful, right? We get the break of this trend. The MACD crosses. We get that cross right there. You can see that first little red candle starts to print. The second, we're getting more momentum to the downside. So pretty much you could stay short through this whole move here when those candles on the MACD are just pointing down, down, down. And that's from the 700s down to like 580 levels. So a really nice move to the downside. And again, just pointing out how clean this MACD move was. And you can see now the MACD crosses again. We're pushing up. Momentum's pushing up there on the MACD and showing us that there's some strength to try to push in here end of day. The question is, you know, how high does this go? We don't really know. I wouldn't say it's going to go massively high. Definitely not back to this peak, that's for sure. But, you know, just looking at this move here, there's a pretty good chance that this kind of wants to push up there into this level, especially if you drew the fib lines on this. If I'll go fib line retracement, you can see pretty much why I thought that 60 level was doable to push up back to that 0.5 there on the fib. And then after that, you would think maybe 80 level kind of being the top there on that move. So really a kind of funky morning. You know, I think the more that I'm trading, the more I'm just learning that, like, Patrick, at the end of the day, it's like, if we're not getting a good move, like if it's just not happening, then don't trade it. You know, like if we're not getting that clear move, there's no point in trading it. It's not worth it, right? It's not worth it because, you know, maybe you scalp a few $100, you get money, you know, like whatever, you make a little bit of money, but it's also like the risk is just not there. Like I want these good setups. Like I want it all to be nice and, you know, beautiful and just clean and just pretty. You know, like that's what I want. I want it to be nice and just set up beautifully and giving me those indicators. Like I'm like, hey, look, like it's time to get long. Like through this move to the downside, even though it was trending lower, just wasn't clean. Like it wasn't, you know, it was just pushing up, bouncing, and, you know, just choppy. And then this move here, super clean move to the upside. This is the kind of move you get in here long, you just ride this 9 EMA, 8 EMA till it pushes up and then you break below. I mean, that's what, from the 78s up there to almost 100 handles. That's a 100 handle move from that low to that high once we got the cross pretty much on that MACD. And the same thing with that break to the downside. Like, look how clean this is. 3-minute chart, literally red. I mean, none of these candles. You could have gotten short once we broke below here. You know, once we got that MACD cross in this area, you get short here, and it's basically just ride this all the way down for a really nice profit. So there it is. Again, that's so interesting, that 660 area right now, giving some resistance. That was where the fib basically mapped out that retracement for that 0.5 retracement there. So I'm interested to see kind of what happens here end of day, but I think I'm going to be done and just walk away. Kind of one of those days, you know, it's a learning lesson. Every day we're learning, every day we're getting a little bit better, every day we're a little bit more focused, every day just, you know, it's every single day, just kind of focus and looking for opportunities. All right, so there it is, end of day, a little bit more profit, looking a little bit better. I'm not mad about it. Obviously, I wish I would have made more profit in the morning session, but we got a nice little win here end of day and locked it in, and now the market's kind of going sideways. So I'm totally happy with that, and it is what it is. So we'll see you tomorrow morning live here on YouTube.
Yeah.